Big Country, welcome to Off the Bench. How are you doing? Are you in Atlanta, I assume, Big Country?
Yes, sir. I definitely am. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. You know, I love, and my family's roots are in the South. You don't have to yes sir me, but I mean we've instilled that in our kids. My mom and dad did it with me. Yes sir, no ma'am, all that kind of thing. In fact, I just jumped my son's case the other day because he was interviewed at this golf tournament he was playing in, and the lady asked him a question, and only one of the two times did he say yes ma'am. So I had to straighten him out. All right, now Big Country. Tell
Yes,
me
sir.
what you do. You follow the Falcons. You're on YouTube. You do a podcast. What do you do down there?
Yes, sir. So I'm actually a former football coach. Um, and moving forward after I got into the whole corporate world, after we moved up here to Atlanta, because I'm originally from down near Savannah, Georgia. Hence the name Low Country, Big Low Country, because I'm old country boy from the low country, so that's where we got the name from. But yeah, so yeah, we have a podcast, YouTube channel, Big Low Country Sports, and we talk about the Falcons, Georgia football, and just sports in general. I'm just the old country boy that loves to talk about sports.
All right, well, let's start. I'm going to get to the college thing in a minute since you brought it up.
Okay.
But I want to talk about the Falcons. Big Country, I don't know what you or anybody else expected down there about the Falcons this year. We know about Matt Ryan leaving, that whole kind of thing. In comes Mariota, who's really never been a guy that has stood out despite being a number one pick. A lot of us around here in Cincinnati thought Desmond Ridder might be the starting quarterback at this point in the season. But are you surprised the Falcons are 3-3 and tied for first place coming off a huge win against the Niners over the weekend?
Well, first of all, I do want to thank y'all. Thank y'all, Cincinnati fans for giving us Desmond Ridder, because we really feel like we're in good hands for a long time moving forward. So thank y'all for that. But as far as us being surprised, to be honest with you, we're not that surprised. We knew coming into the season that it was going to be one of those cases where this Atlanta Falcons team is going to look a little different, but moving forward, just because it's different, that doesn't mean that it's going to be bad. So, to be honest with you, looking at the scope of our season so far, we feel like we should be 5-1. But no, that's a whole nother conversation. But nah, we're not surprised. We think we're right, right around where we're supposed to be.
Falcons love to run the football. I mean, that's their M.O. And Cordero Patterson goes down. He was off to a big-time start. What a special talent he is and has been for a long, long time. But familiarize Bengal fans with what they're going to see, who they're going to see in that run game, because that is what the Falcons, and you correct me if I'm wrong, at least so far, the Falcons offense hangs its hat on the run game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So basically, Cincinnati Bengal fans, first of all, I ain't got nothing but love for y'all, man.
Oh,
First
come
of all,
on, Big Country. You don't have to be kissing tail up here, right? I mean, your first time.
I'm dead
Come
serious.
on,
I'm
come
dead
on,
serious.
come on,
So,
come
so,
on.
so, so my high school, so we were the Tigers growing up. We were the Tigers. I had to come up. I had to have a second favorite football team. The Bengals obviously was the choice. I love the Bengals. I love the striped helmets and everything. And for the simple fact that y'all got the whole Who Dey chant. So y'all know our arch rivals are the Saints, and they say that annoying Who Dat. So I always tell them, well, y'all copy that from the Bengals. But anyway, I mean, just so y'all have some familiarity, we are going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball excessively. Whenever we played against the Cleveland Browns, we ran the ball 15 straight times. If that goes to show you the amount of volume that we run the ball. Marcus Mariota, very, very agile quarterback. It's one of those cases where he's going to run a lot of read option. You're probably going to see about 15 RPOs. He's going to hand the ball off 75% of the time. We're going to run the ball. We're going to blitz a lot because just to be completely honest with you, Bengals fans, a lot of since we run 3-4 defense, 2/3 of our defensive line are undrafted free agents. So anything besides Grady, that's pretty much what you're going to get. But you know what? I digress. Taquan Graham, he was drafted in like the 6th round. So moving forward, it's going to be one of those cases where you're going to run the ball and we're going to blitz a lot. The question is, are we going to be able to stop Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase if he's playing? But yeah, it's going to be a lot of running. I wouldn't even be too worried about Kyle Pitts because he's only been getting 3 targets a game. So ain't no need to be worried about that. Drake London, same thing. He's going to get 3 or 4 targets. Other than that, we're going to run the ball.
You know, I love you pointing that out about running the ball 15 times in a row against Cleveland, because it reminds me of an old story from Barry Alvarez, a legendary Wisconsin coach, when he had Ron Dane there. He had a game, the first, I think, 18 plays of the game on offense. He handed the ball off to Ron Dane, and his offensive coordinator says, all right, we're going to throw the ball here. And Barry Alvarez says, they haven't stopped us on the run. Why in the world would we throw the ball? Just keep running the ball. And obviously that's the MO for the Falcons. That offensive line must be a pretty rugged group.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the clip after we got our win against the 49ers last week. Coach, you know, Arthur Smith, he's a former offensive lineman. He played for North Carolina. And, you know, they apparently now their new celebration is they drink a whole bunch of beers after a win. What's more offensive lineman than that, Bo? You know, so you know, these guys, they are pretty rugged. Now, the thing is, I'm going to be completely honest with you because I'm not biased towards towards our team. We can run the ball, but our pass blocking isn't as effective. So if you're going to affect the game, that'll be how the Bengals affect it, by getting to us whenever we do throw the ball. I think we're taking it back to the early 90s and the 80s where we're just going to run the ball, and you know, whenever we do throw it, we just hope those 3 bad things don't happen. I'm pretty sure you know what those 3 bad things are.
You better believe it. But I tell you what, though, Big Country, I tell you what, you know, last week, you know, you only throw it 14 times, but you complete 13 out of the 14. You can't get much more efficient than that.
You're right. You're right. And I think the thing is that, because I'm going to be completely honest with you, I don't know if y'all know this or y'all Cincinnati fans heard this, but we've been calling for Desmond Ridder for a while. So I think Marcus Mariota's like, hey, you know what? I might need to get this under control before I'm coming off the bench with Mr. Thom.
So they're excited about Ridder down there. You guys really like the way he played. I know he played well most of the preseason. All the things he did in college. He's a great leader. He's a great kid. We were so excited that he was going to a place where he might have a chance to play. But they haven't used any special packages, nothing like that for him so far, right?
No. So basically the whole thing with Desmond Ridder, and, you know, Arthur Smith hasn't said this himself, because first of all, everybody's, you know, going crazy about the whole preseason performance and everything, but we've been watching this kid in training camp. In training camp, he is special. Like, he's looking like he's the real deal. But the reason why we haven't been bringing him in like special packages or anything like that, first of all, we don't want to mess up the flow of the offense. And second of all, you know, have you ever ate a Hot Pocket, Thom?
Yes, I have.
Now, we all know if you put a Hot Pocket in the microwave and you take it out too early, it's terrible.
Yeah, terrible.
Right? You don't want to take the Hot Pocket out too early. So
you got to go the Hot Pocket these days in these fancy air fryers. You know what I mean? You probably know about that, right? Am I right or wrong?
Oh, you all day. I'm on top of it like brown gravy. Oh, yeah.
Big Country, you look like you've had one of those pockets occasionally. I mean, big fella like yourself, man. I mean, a guy gets hungry. Am I right or wrong?
Every now and then, 1, maybe 2. Sometimes on a tough day, 3.
All right, I want to shift gears real quick to 2 things. One, the defense. You talk about the Falcons' defense. Blitzes a lot.
Yes, sir.
You know, the Bengals' offense has been really inconsistent. Their last game was the first time they scored 30 or more, going back 11 games, including the playoffs last year, despite having, you know, all these weapons, so on and so forth. The injury report comes out yesterday for the Falcons. 4 of the starters are at least, you know, listed on the injury report. Whether or not they play remains to be seen. You guys worried about the Bengals' offense?
Oh, of course. You know, y'all went to the Super Bowl last year. I got Joe Burrow, Cool Joe, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins, who's actually, I think, is more of a threat than Jamar Chase right now. But Joe Mixon, to be completely honest with you, this defense is still cultivating. So, with that being said, we're running the type of defense that's kind of fail safe. So we're running a lot of cover three defenses, blitzing. I'm going to go ahead and tell you the middle of the field is going to be open. So if Joe Burrow's watching this, I hope he's not watching this, but the middle of the field is going to be open because we're going to be bringing a lot of blitzes in the A and the B gaps. So because we just can't get to the quarterback, and we know, especially in this game, the only way to win is to get to the quarterback. Now I haven't really looked at Joe's numbers to see how often he checks down and how efficiently he checks down. But if he's a check downer, I just came up with that term. If he's a check downer,
it's a big league term.
Then if he's a check downer, then we're gonna be in trouble. It's gonna be death by 1,000 paper cuts, huh?
All right, I want to shift gears real quick, Big Country. Do you like going by Low Country? What do you like better? I've been saying Big Country, but what's actually the way you like it?
You can call me whatever you want to call me.
No. I want you to tell me, what do you like?
Big Country is fine. Big Country is fine.
But it's Big Low Country, right?
Yeah, Big Low Country. But
all right, okay.
Look,
why in the world would anybody move from Savannah to Atlanta?
Well, my wife. Okay. You know, she's originally from Atlanta. Exactly. Hello. You already You already know. Ain't no need. Don't get me in trouble, son.
End of story. As soon as you said wife, 4-letter word, you're dialed in. All right, let me ask you. On the college front, we all know about the SEC incredible game last week where Tennessee beats Alabama. You know, up here, Ohio State country, University of Cincinnati country, right? I mean, you know, the whole shooting match. I want to ask you about Georgia a little bit, though, because – you know, they're the defending national champions. Now, you're consumed by this, and you're surrounded by this and all the local coverage they're going to get. But I get the feeling on a national scale that not many people are paying a lot of attention to Georgia. I know they're number one. I get that. And they're voted number one, and rightfully so. They haven't lost. They're defending national champ, no problem. But are they going under the radar a little bit?
I don't think so. I think it's first. I mean, you know, whenever you look at Alabama, everybody's always worried about Alabama because you know, I mean, they're Alabama. So and it's crazy because anytime Alabama loses, you know, everybody celebrates like they won the national championship. But I mean, you know, just being down here in the SEC, I mean, you know, it's one of those cases where I heard y'all talk about Game of Thrones earlier. It's one of those cases where we're all looking at each other, you know, every year, trying to figure out who's going to be sitting on the Iron Throne. So, so you know, we're looking at Tennessee. Tennessee, they're not flying under the radar for us because you know they look legit. Ole Miss, all of these teams, you know, we're not discrediting anybody. You know, we know that every game and every team that you play against has the ability to take it all the way. I mean, kind of like the Big Ten, you know. You look at Michigan's, the Ohio States, and all those teams up there. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure you look at Michigan, you say those guys aren't flying under the radar, right?
Well, I don't follow Michigan. I have nothing to do with Michigan. I don't like Michigan. I like their coach, okay. but I mean, I you know, they're going to take a tail kicking and right around Thanksgiving after Thanksgiving up in Columbus, Ohio. But, you know, it was a point. We had a guy from Tennessee on the other day who covers their team for 24/7 Sports, and we were asking him about the games that are coming up for Tennessee. They got to play Kentucky, who's got a good, solid team. I think they easily could be undefeated. His feeling was that that's not a good matchup for Kentucky because Kentucky doesn't score a lot of points. They play good defense, but they don't score a lot. You take the Vanderbilt game out of the mix a little bit. The week after Kentucky, it's Tennessee v. Georgia. All the marbles, without a doubt, on the eastern side of the SEC. Can Georgia score with Tennessee?
That's gonna be a tough one. I like I said, I'm not partial I think that could be the game Georgia loses. Just for that simple fact that you're mentioning. I don't know if we'll be able to score with Tennessee. It's all about what kind of day Stetson Bennett is having that day. I see that our offense is trying to evolve a little bit. We have a few running backs, but not like the running backs that we've had in the past. So we are throwing the ball a little bit more. I would say we got best tight ends in the country, but I don't know if we're going to be able to put up points the way that boy who's staying in them hot motels is putting up points up there in Tennessee.
Well, nobody's running with the Buckeyes this year, Big Country. Nobody.
Hey, I mean, we gonna see. You say nobody's scoring with the Buckeyes, but you know what my dad used to tell me back in the daytime?
What's that?
He used to tell me, he said, monkeys do fall out of trees sometimes. So I mean, even though you say nobody's gonna run with them, it might come, it might happen sometime this season.
Fair enough. Big Country, I want to thank you for your time today. Big Low Country, we thank you very much joining us from Atlanta. You're a good man. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, my brother. Hey, and please call me back sometime, man. I would love to come back and chill out with you for a few minutes.
Well, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to have you back when we get, if you're able to do it, we'd love to have you back once we get, maybe leading up to that Tennessee game. You figure both teams are probably still undefeated. It's going to be the biggest game in college football. It seems like every other week it's the biggest game in college football, but the SEC's right in the middle of all that. If both teams stay undefeated, that'll be the biggest game, and then the next biggest game is going to be Ohio State, Michigan, and then we go off to the conference championships in the college football playoff. So thank you for that offer. We'll take you up on it. God bless you, brother. Have a great day.
Thank you, man. Y'all make sure y'all check me out, Big Low Country Sports on YouTube. I'm sorry it's spelled Kuntry. Didn't realize I was spelling it wrong until I graduated from college. But y'all take care, man. Y'all be easy.
Hey, I got lectured on some cat named Leif Erikson yesterday, so I was humiliated not knowing who that is. So don't worry about it.
I seen that.
Yeah,
I seen
you
that.
did. You saw it?
Yeah.
Did you know who Leif Erikson was? Tell the truth.
Yeah. He was coming from America.
Big Country, come on now.
What? Yeah. You didn't know Leif Erikson was coming from America?
He was the first year.
Man.
See, that's that Savannah education. See, that's a Savannah education for you. Guy's on his game. Big Country, thank you, brother. Take care of yourself.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy.
All right. Now, that's a big league guest right there.